You know that feeling, don't you? Waking up and just knowing something's off, maybe a bit under the weather, not quite yourself.
Yeah.
And then there's that sheer delight of a day when you feel absolutely right as rain, just full of energy, vibrant.
Mm-hmm. That shift is huge. And that's really the core of our deep dive today, isn't it? That whole spectrum from unwell to thriving.
Exactly. This isn't just about the feeling of wellness, though.
No, not at all. We're trying to unpack what it actually means to be healthy, how our daily choices, ripple through our entire system.
And the science behind it all. Some of this stuff is fascinating, just the intricate things happening inside us all the time.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we've pulled together quite a mix of sources for you.
Yeah, we have everything from practical, everyday health guides, teaching materials.
Right, through to some pretty serious medical studies. And even philosophical texts that kind of challenge how we think about well-being.
Oh, and yeah, a bunch of really surprising, maybe even kind of weird facts about the human body. Stuff that definitely makes you go, wait, how does that work?
Yeah, some fun ones in there. So our mission today is basically to sift through all this, pull out the really useful, practical insights.
And the most surprising facts, too.
Right. We want to help you quickly get really well informed on health, maybe move beyond the common knowledge to some genuinely new perspectives.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right.
So when we talk about health, it's interesting how our language itself reflects it all. We've got all these colorful ways to say we feel sick.
Oh, totally. Like being under the weather, you mentioned that one.
Yeah.
Or coming down with something.
Yeah. Or if it's really bad, you might say you feel like death warmed up. Bit dramatic, but gets the point across.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the flip side is just as expressive, right? You're on the road to recovery, maybe.
Or feeling as fit as a fiddle.
Exactly. It's kind of remarkable how deep these run in just everyday chat, isn't it?
It really is. And it makes you think, how much of that language comes from old beliefs? Take that proverb, feed a cold, starve a fever.
Ah, yeah. Generations follow that, didn't they? The idea you should eat more for a cold, less for a fever.
But what's interesting now is how modern science has kind of picked that apart.
Right. I mean, hydration is always key, obviously. But actively starving a fever? Probably not the best idea. Your body still needs fuel for that immune response.
So it shows how science can sometimes, push back against even really ingrained ideas.
Definitely. Which brings us to another classic. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Now, that one feels more solid, doesn't it? It's not just a saying. It's like a foundational thought for health, being proactive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If we all kind of know prevention is key, why do our habits sometimes tell a different story? Like those teenage stats we found.
Yeah, we'll get to those. It's a just we're often still quite reactive, not truly proactive. What are the barriers, you think? Why don't we always live by that ounce of prevention rule?
That's a huge question. I mean, you can't prevent everything, but that mindset shift can make a big difference. And yeah, looking at modern habits, the challenge is pretty clear.
Like that Russian school report we looked at, some of those findings were, quite striking.
They were. It showed, 72% of teenagers had tried smoking?
72%?
Yeah. And over 30% drink beer after lessons or, on weekends, and fast food. Almost 80% reported eating it regularly.
It paints a picture, definitely. But it wasn't all negative, was it?
No, that's true. The same report had a positive side. 91% of these teenagers do some kind of sport. Football, parkour for the boys, fitness, dancing for the girls.
So activity is high. That's good.
Yeah. And there were some differences, like girls seem to eat more sweets generally.
Interesting. And this isn't just one specific place, right? We saw similar things elsewhere.
We did. We took a quick look at Canadian students too. And yeah, some very similar patterns. Lots of awareness about health, sure, but fast food is still common. Some still smoke. Kind of echoes the Russian findings.
So these cross-cultural similarities, they suggest some universal challenges in youth health, maybe.
Seems like it. We all sort of know the basics, don't we? Regular exercise, healthy food, good hygiene, brushing teeth, washing hands.
Yeah, getting enough sleep, relaxing, regular checkups. The list is pretty standard.
Exactly. But why do we, as a whole society, seem to struggle so much to consistently do these simple things? Even with all the info out there, what's really going on underneath?
Okay, so that's where the real deep dive starts, right? Because the info's there, but the practice, there's a gap.
There really is. And if we just zoom in on one of those things, sleep, we find some really profound reasons why it's so critical. way beyond just feeling rested.
Okay, yeah, this is where it got super interesting for me. I always thought of sleep as just, hitting reset.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff you found, DNA repair, the gut microbiome.
Right. It sounds like a much more active, fundamental process than just switching off.
So what were some of the most surprising connections you found with sleep?
Well, one of the big ones is this idea of sleep debt. It's crucial.
Okay.
Basically, if you're naturally a night owl, your body wants to stay up late, but you're forced to wake up early for work or school.
Which is like most people.
Pretty much. Those later sleep times plus the early alarm clock mean you accumulate this debt over time. And it's not just about feeling groggy.
Right, the consequences are serious. We saw studies linking sleep debt to increased risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes.
Anxiety, depression, even accidents. It's a systemic thing, a massive cascading effect through the whole body.
Wow. Okay, so that leads into the whole early bird versus night owl thing.
Exactly. Our natural preference is mostly down to our individual circadian rhythms, our internal body clock.
And there's research suggesting early rising is linked to better mental health, sharper brain function, stronger immune systems.
Yeah, reduced chronic health problems too.
But there's always a but.
There is. Another perspective we found highlights that people who wake up later might actually be more productive, more mentally sharp during their peak hours, which could be later in the day, maybe more creative then.
Okay, so how do you square that? Are early birds definitely better off, or is it more about syncing with your own biology?
It really seems to lean towards understanding your own chronotype, your natural tendency, while also recognizing, society often pushes us towards that early schedule.
Makes sense.
But what seems consistent, especially looking at adolescents, is that longer sleep and earlier bedtimes generally correlate with better brain function, better cognitive test scores.
Even if many of them aren't actually getting it.
Sadly, no. Many aren't. And here's a simple indicator we found. A lower heart rate during sleep often signals better sleep quality.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, but let's get to the really surprising science bits. You mentioned DNA repair. During sleep?
Yeah. Get this, sleep is actually critical for fixing DNA damage in our neurons. This damage just kind of builds up while we're awake.
So if you don't sleep enough,
you might not repair it properly, potentially leading to excessive mutations. Your body is literally doing essential maintenance while you're out cold.
That's incredible. It's like a microscopic repair crew comes out at night.
Pretty much. And it's not just DNA. There's this amazing two-way street between sleep and your gut microbiome, all those bacteria in your gut.
How does that work?
Well, a study on mice showed that messing up their sleep long-term actually changed the types of bacteria in their gut.
Seriously?
Yeah, and this led to more inflammation and even more visceral fat, that dangerous fat around the organs.
Wow, but could they fix it?
Yes, that's the good news. When the mice got back to healthy sleep patterns, those negative changes started to reverse. It suggests a real link, maybe even a way to intervene.
So sleep affects the tiny bugs in your gut, which then affects your whole body. Mind. Blown.
It's pretty wild. And the link to mental health is just as strong. We saw a meta-analysis, basically a study showing that improving sleep quality has a real causal effect.
Causal, meaning sleep causes the change.
Exactly. Not just correlated. Better sleep led to reduced depression, anxiety, stress.
Okay, that's powerful.
And even more compelling, they found a dose-response relationship, meaning the more the sleep quality improved, the better the mental health outcomes. It really points to sleep as a potential tool for mental well-being.
So it's not just about the total hours you sleep then?
Not entirely, no.
Yeah.
A huge UK biobank study made this really crucial point. Sleep regularity seems to be even more important than just duration.
Regularity, you mean like going to bed and waking up around the same time every day?
Exactly that. Day-to-day consistency. That study found regularity was a stronger predictor of lower mortality risk from all causes, including cancer and cardiometabolic issues.
Things like heart disease and diabetes.
Right. Stronger than just how long you slept in total.
Why is that, do they think?
Well, the idea is that irregular sleep is a better indicator of circadian disruption, basically messing with your body's internal clock. And that kind of disruption seems to broadly harm our physiology, affecting almost every system.
So consistency is key. Your body clock likes a routine.
It really does.
Okay, so for listeners thinking, right, I need to fix my sleep, what are some practical takeaways, concrete things you can actually do?
Good question. We found some solid, actionable tips. First off, don't try to make a massive change overnight.
Like going from a midnight bedtime to 9 p.m. instantly.
Yeah, probably not going to stick. Instead, try gradually adjusting your bedtime. maybe 15 minutes earlier each night, slowly shifting it until you reach your goal.
Gentle does it. Okay. What else?
Get outside in daylight, especially early in the morning. Natural light is powerful. It helps suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, tells your body it's daytime, and helps shift your rhythm earlier.
Okay. Morning sunlight. Got it.
Also, try to exercise earlier in the day if you can. A workout too close to bedtime can actually make you more alert, which is the opposite of what you want.
Right. Timing exercise. Makes sense. What about food?
Meal timing matters too. Try to eat lunch and dinner a bit earlier. Avoid big late-night snacks that can mess with digestion and sleep. And, the obvious one, limit caffeine, especially later in the day.
Yeah, that afternoon coffee might be hurting more than it helps.
Could be. And finally, the big one for modern life, screens. That blue light from phones, tablets, computers.
It tells your brain it's still daytime, right?
Basically, yeah. So try to limit that exposure for at least an hour before bed. Even better, maybe try keeping devices out of the bedroom altogether. Create a screen-free sanctuary.
Easier said than done for some, but definitely worth trying. Okay, so we've covered habits, sleep science. Let's shift gears a bit to the body itself. Some of these weird and wonderful facts we found.
Yeah, this stuff is just fun, but also kind of awe-inspiring. It underscores how complex we are.
Totally, like the brain. Just incredible. Nerve impulses zipping around at up to 170 miles per hour.
It's like internal high-speed internet. And it runs on, 10 watts of power? Like a really dim light bulb?
Even when you're sleeping. It's amazing. And the storage capacity. Estimates vary, but potentially holding 5 times more info than the Encyclopedia Britannica. Somewhere between 3 and 1,000 terabytes.
Mind-boggling storage. And here's a weird one. Your brain is actually more active at night than during the day.
Doing all that processing, organizing, repairing we talked about with sleep.
Exactly. And that headache you feel. It's not your brain itself feeling pain. It doesn't have pain receptors. It's the tissues and blood vessels around it.
Huh. Okay, moving on to senses. Some odd ones here too, like your hearing might be less sharp after a big meal.
Yeah, apparently blood flow gets diverted to digestion, so maybe less focus on hearing. Kind of strange.
And you literally can't taste food without saliva.
Nope. Saliva needs to dissolve the food chemicals first. Try drying your tongue completely and tasting sugar. You won't taste it until it gets wet.
I think I'll take your word for it on that experiment. But sensory marvels too, right? Like women generally being better smellers.
Yeah, that's often cited. And the nose itself, it can remember something like 50,000 different scents. Imagine that internal library.
Incredible. What about internal stuff, like defenses?
Well, your tears and mucus have an enzyme, lysozyme, that actually breaks down bacteria. It's a built-in disinfectant.
Wow. And we generate heat too, right?
Oh, yeah. In just 30 minutes, your body gives off enough heat to boil half a gallon of water. We're like little furnaces.
Amazing. It really makes you appreciate all the constant unseen work going on. Oh, and the tickling thing.
Huh. Yes. You can't tickle yourself effectively. Your brain knows it's you doing it, anticipates the sensation, and kind of cancels out the surprise element that makes it tickle.
Your brain ruins the fun. Okay, so shifting again, let's look bigger picture. Health beyond just us as individuals. Society, philosophy.
Right. Because our health, or lack of it, has wider impacts. Take sleep loss again. It hits the workplace hard.
How so?
Well, it costs employers billions every year.
Right.
Think about decreased focus, less attention, lower vigilance. People just aren't performing at their best.
Yeah.
And it can lead to microsleeps.
Those are like tiny involuntary naps.
Exactly. Just brief moments of zoning out or dozing off. Really dangerous in some jobs.
I can imagine, especially in healthcare.
Absolutely. We found a study on healthcare professionals linking short sleep directly to burnout.
Yeah.
And then women seem to have a higher probability of that burnout.
And burnout in healthcare can lead to...
Well, potentially serious medical errors, for one.
Yeah.
And also a noticeable decrease in empathy towards patients. It has real human costs.
That's sobering. It really connects individual health to broader outcomes. And this brings up some deep questions, doesn't it? Like that philosophical debate you found.
Yeah, from that Arthur Haley novel, The Final Diagnosis. It poses this really provocative question. Should medicine always interfere with nature's laws?
What was the argument?
Well, one character, Eustace Swain, basically argues that things like famines and epidemics historically acted as a kind of natural selection, eliminating the weak.
Ooh, that's a harsh perspective.
It is. He argues that modern medicine, by preserving people he calls cripples, weaklings, and the disease-ridden, puts a burden on society.
Wow. Okay, that's definitely provocative. How does the book counter that?
Through another character, Dr. O'Donnell. He pushes back hard. He suggests that many illnesses aren't purely natural anyway, but are often man's creation.
Like from bad sanitation or pollution.
Exactly. Things we've introduced into the environment. And he also argues that strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional too. It really makes you grapple with the ethics and consequences of medical progress.
Absolutely. And what natural even means anymore when we shape our world so much.
Precisely.
Okay, one last quick thing before we wrap up those medical symbols. People get them mixed up, right?
All the time. So the rod of Asclepius, that's the one with a single snake wrapped around a staff. That's the actual historical symbol of medicine linked to the Greek god of healing.
Okay, single snake medicine. What's the other one then? The one you see a lot, especially in the US.
That's the caduceus. It has two snakes and wings. Historically, that's the symbol of Hermes, or Mercury, associated with commerce, negotiation, messengers.
Not medicine.
Not originally, no. But it was mistakenly adopted by the U.S. Army Medical Corps early on, and the confusion just kind of stuck.
Huh. Good to know. And there's one for pharmacy, too.
Yeah, the bowl of Hygeia. That's usually a cup or chalice with the snake twined around its stem, sometimes drinking from the bowl, named after the goddess of health and hygiene.
Interesting how symbols carry history and sometimes confusion.
Definitely.
Wow. What a journey we've taken today. From that simple feeling of being right as rain
to DNA repair during sleep, weird sensory facts, and these really deep philosophical questions about medicine's role.
It really shows how deeply health is woven into, well, everything. Our language, our daily routines.
The hidden biology inside us, and even these big societal ideas and debates. Health is truly multifaceted.
And hopefully understanding these different dimensions helps you, our listeners, make more informed choices, whether it's about sleep or food or just how you approach health information critically.
Yeah, thinking it through.
So, as you go about your day, here's something to chew on, a final thought. In a world where science keeps advancing, where our environment keeps changing, what does it really mean to be well today?
Good question.
Especially when our environment, our genes, our lifestyle, they're all constantly interacting in complex ways. How does our definition of health keep evolving? And what new responsibilities might that place on each of us?
Something definitely worth thinking about.